Hi there. Come on in. And how are you today? That's great. So, you're here to get to know yourself a little better. Is that right? Here to take a little personality test to find out a bit more about yourself, all those strengths that you have, all those wonderful character traits. Well, what we're going to do is ask a series of questions today, and you will answer one or the other. It's as simple as that. There are quite a few. There are 70 in total, and some of them don't always sound like they make the most sense. However, the best thing to do is answer with the first thing that comes into your head, and you'll see me mark your answer down on the paper. So, are you ready to find out if you're an analyst, or a diplomat, or a defender, or an entertainer? Once we've got all of the results, we'll collate them together and we'll get back in touch to discuss what we found. It may come as a surprise, it may well not, but it's going to be fun finding out. So, are you ready? Get nice and comfortable and relaxed. You can even do this with your eyes closed if you like. But don't fall asleep before you've answered all 70. Fall asleep if you like. So, here we go. First question. At a party, do you interact with many, including strangers, or interact with a few, known to you? Again, so at a party, do you interact with many, including strangers, or interact with a few, known to you? And that's that. That's the same format. So, again, first thing that comes into your head each time, okay? So, are you more realistic than speculative, or speculative than realistic? Is it worse to have your head in the clouds or be in a rut? Are you more impressed by principles or emotions? Great. Are you more drawn towards the convincing or the touching? The convincing or the touching? Do you prefer to work to deadlines or just whenever? Nobody has to think about that one. They know one way or the other with that one. Do you tend to choose rather carefully or somewhat impulsively? At parties, do you stay late with increasing energy or leave early with decreased energy? So stay late with increased energy or leave early with decreased energy. Are you more attracted to sensible people or imaginative? people? Are you more interested in what is actual or what is possible? In judging others, are you more swayed by laws than circumstances, or circumstances than laws? In judging others, are you more swayed by laws than circumstances, or circumstances than laws? In approaching others, is your inclination to be somewhat objective or personal? Objective or personal? Are you more punctual or leisurely? Great. That's the first page of questions done. How are you finding it? They will make more sense once they are collated at the end. So, does it bother you more having things incomplete or completed? In your social groups, do you keep abreast of others' happenings or get behind in the news? In doing ordinary things, are you more likely to do it the usual way or do it your way? Writers should say what they mean and mean what they say, or express things more by the use of analogy. So writers should say what they mean and mean what they say, or express things more by the use of analogy. What appeals to you more? Consistency of thought or harmonious human relationships? I nearly tripped there. Which appeals to you more? Consistency of thought or harmonious human relationships? The answer was easier than the question there. Are you more comfortable in making logical judgments or value judgments? Logic or value? Do you want things settled and decided or unsettled and undecided? Settled and decided, unsettled, undecided. Would you say you are more serious and determined or easygoing? In phoning, do you rarely question that it will be all said, or rehearse what you will say? So just know that everything will be said, or rehearse so that you can ensure it's all said. Facts speak for themselves or illustrate principles. Speak for themselves or illustrate principles. Are visionaries somewhat annoying or rather fascinating? Somewhat annoying or rather fascinating? Are you more often a cool-headed person or a warm-hearted person? Cool-headed, warm-hearted. Great. Almost halfway there. How are you feeling? Is it tricky to answer these quickly without much thought? You're finding it simpler? So, oops, sorry, paper scissors. Is it worse to be unjust or merciless? Should one usually let events occur by careful selection and choice, or randomly and by chance? Careful selection and choice, or randomly by chance? Do you feel better about having purchased or having the option to buy? I like both. In company, do you initiate conversation or do you wait to be approached? Common sense is rarely questionable or frequently questionable. Rarely questionable or frequently questionable. Children often do not make themselves useful enough or exercise their fantasy enough. Children often do not make themselves useful enough or exercise their fantasy enough. In making decisions, do you feel more comfortable with standards or feelings? Are you more firm than gentle or gentle than firm? Which is more admirable? The ability to organise and be methodical, or the ability to adapt and make do? Organised and methodical, or adapt and make do? Do you put more value on infinite or open-minded? Does new and non-routine interaction with others stimulate and energise you or tax your reserves? Does new and non-routine interaction with others stimulate and energise you or tax your reserves? Are you more frequently a practical sort of person or a fanciful sort of person? Practical, fanciful. Great. So, are you more likely to see how others are useful or see how others see? See how others are useful, or see how others see? Which is more satisfying? To discuss an idea thoroughly, or to arrive at an agreement on an issue? Discuss thoroughly, or arrive at an agreement on an issue? Which rules you more? Your head or your heart? People rarely have to think about that one either. Are you more comfortable with work that is contracted or work that is done on a casual basis? Contracted or casual? Do you tend to look for the ordinary? Apologies. Do you tend to look for the orderly or whatever turns up? The orderly or whatever turns up? Do you prefer many friends with brief contact or a few friends with more lengthy contact? So many friends with brief contact or a few friends with lengthy contact? Do you go more by facts or principles? This is an interesting one, so first thing that comes into your head, okay? Are you more interested in production and distribution or design and research? It is an odd one. Production and distribution or design and research? Which is more of a compliment? There is a very logical person, or there is a very sentimental person. Which is the greater compliment? Logical or sentimental? Do you value in yourself more that you are unwavering or devoted? Which do you value more in yourself? Unwavering or devoted? Do you more often prefer the final and unalterable statement or tentative and preliminary statement? So final and unalterable statement or tentative and preliminary statement? Are you more comfortable after a decision or before a decision? Do you speak easily and at length with strangers, or find little to say to strangers? Speak easily and at length with strangers, or find little to say? Are you more likely to trust your experience or your hunch? My advice: always go with your gut It's never wrong. Okay, so nearly there. This paper's getting trickier. Let's begin. So, do you feel more practical than ingenious, or more ingenious than practical? When's the last time you referred to yourself as ingenious? You should do that more. Which person is more to be complimented? One of clear reason or one of strong thinking? Clear reason or strong thinking? Are you inclined more to be fair-minded or sympathetic? Fair-minded or sympathetic? Is it preferable mostly to make sure things are as arranged, or just let things happen? To make sure things are as arranged, or to just let things happen? In relationships, should most things be renegotiable or random and circumstantial? In relationships, should most things be renegotiable or random and circumstantial? When the phone rings, do you hasten to get it first or hope someone else will answer? Do you prize more in yourself a strong sense of reality or a vivid imagination? Strong sense of reality or vivid imagination? Are you drawn more to fundamentals or overtones? Fundamentals or overtones? Which seems to be the greater error? To be too passionate or to be too objective? Too passionate or too objective? Do you see yourself as basically hard-headed or soft-hearted? Hard-headed or soft-hearted? Which situation appeals to you more? The structured and scheduled, or the unstructured and unscheduled? So structured and scheduled, or unstructured and unscheduled? Are you a person that is more routinized than whimsical, or whimsical than routinized? Are you more inclined to be easy to approach or somewhat reserved? Easy to approach or somewhat reserved? In writings, do you prefer the more literal or the more figurative? Literal or figurative? Okay. 3 more questions. Almost there. Final 5. Is it harder for you to identify with others or utilise others? Is it harder for you to identify with others or utilise others? What do you wish more for yourself? Clarity of reason or strength of compassion? Clarity of reason or strength of compassion? Which is the greater fault? Being indiscriminate or being critical? Do you prefer the planned event or the unplanned event? And finally, do you tend to be more deliberate than spontaneous or spontaneous than deliberate? Do you tend to be more deliberate than spontaneous or spontaneous than deliberate? That's all done. 70 questions. How do you feel, other than perhaps a little hoarse? Great. Did any of these give you any insight or inkling towards what might come back as results? Okay. So what we do is we take these answers and we analyse them, and we come back to you with a personality type. And as part of that personality type, it will give you some more insights into yourself. The things you like, the things you don't, the things you find tolerable, the things you don't, but also the types of friends that would be good for you, the types of career you might be interested in, the types of hobbies and fun you might like to have, and how you can be of value of those around you as well. When you get all these different personality types together, it's how we can all interact. So what do you think? Still happy to receive the results of this? Great. Well, give us a couple of days, as there are lots of answers to go through, and then what we'll do is we'll call you back, come back in, and we can take you through in a detailed way all of these results. But thank you for your time today. Thank you for answering honestly, and I look forward to seeing you again in a couple of days' time. Take care. Bye-bye.